quorum. I left off at Three Rivers if you want to take back over.
No, go. You can finish off, Cheyenne.
Okay, no problem. Who's the tonic? Gateway. Middlesex.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi. Okay. I'm definitely missing somebody.
Donna Wagner, Charter Oak is present.
Thank you, Donna. Okay. Capital Naugatuck. Thank you, Nia. You don't have to save the best for last. Okay. Capital Manchester is Nantucket, Tungsten, Northwestern, Three Rivers, Housatonic, Gateway, Middlesex, Charter Oak, Naugatuck. So Luis is present. Our representative from Western is present. We're missing Eastern, Southern. Capital in Manchester is absent. I'm from Nantucket. We're missing Tungsten, Gateway, and Housatonic. I don't think that meets quorum requirements.
Do we have Quinnebog Valley?
That's
Thank
me.
you.
I did not.
I thought Tunxus was here.
I called it. I didn't hear anybody, but I mean, if Tungsten is here, please.
Cameron, are you from Tunxus?
Yes, I'm from Tunxus.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then Quinnebog Valley. Yes, Dimitri. Thank you. Okay, so we have quorum for the community colleges, but from our 4 years,
We do, because we have Charter Oak, Central, and Western. We do have
Okay.
quorum for everyone,
wonderful.
so we can take
Thank
votes.
goodness. Thank you, Kayla,
Yeah, of course.
because we've been trying to get quorum for a while. Okay, thank you all for coming. We deeply appreciate you. And as a reminder, we have special guests Ainsley and Kayla on today because our SAC leader Tamara, she's handling some family business today, but we are in great company. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Luis if he has anything to say before we jump in.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today. I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I was having issues with my computer this morning, so I had to log in with my phone, so I apologize. But again, thank you again for coming in today. I know it's Friday morning after a long week of classes after spring break, so I know everyone's tired, but we just want to get a couple things through again. Last week, the last time we met, we were trying to get the bylaws through, but unfortunately we weren't able to because of quorum. Thankfully, we have quorum today, so we should be able to get that through today, as well as we'll discuss a little bit about the survey questions and how we want to distribute it. Again, each campus has their own institutional research procedure, which is gonna be a big hurdle that we have to overcome to make sure that we all follow each of their campus instructions. So we'll discuss a little bit of that. And then if we have time at the end, just a little student discussion, very open-ended. Hope to get a lot of feedback from you guys regarding what resources would you like to see in your campuses, right? What resources are missing, what resources are lacking. I think that's a pretty good discussion to have, and just to get feedback from you guys as campus leaders. That way we can delay that message to the board, as there's a lot of discussion about what students are needing, what students want in their campuses, and what does the student need. So definitely looking to get a lot of feedback from that. And with that being said, I'll hand it over again to Cheyenne. She's gonna go over with her team, the bylaw committee, to review the bylaws. So, and hopefully we can get them approved this time. So Floor is yours, Cheyenne.
Thank you, Luis. I appreciate you. I'm just checking the chat really quick. Donna said she's unable to open the agenda attachment. It's asking for an email. She put in her school email and it did not work.
Let me see if I can send it to her.
You put the bacon in?
Thank you, Donna, for letting us know. Okay, everybody. Hopefully for the last time, we can run through our bylaws. Our bylaws is our governing document for the SAC committee. Everything is housed there. You know, what is SAC, the definition of SAC, the role of SAC, and we added some, you know, supplemental things talking about, you know, academic dishonesty and amongst other things. So it's not a very long document. It's about 5 pages. I will share my screen so everybody can see it at least. There's baby me.
Aww.
There we go. Yeah, that's me when I was a baby.
No.
Thank you. All right, so it's in its final form. Everything has been combed with a fine-tooth comb. We simplified the language. And for context for our newer students, so the last time our SAC document got edited was around 2018. So as you can tell or imagine, you know, it was really out of date and we had to really just, you know, come together and clean things up. I will always shout out my phenomenal ladies who helped me on this project and who spearheaded this project with me with excellent leadership. So thank you, Donna. Thank you, Nia. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Madison, even though some of our team members are absent. So we split this document up into articles and then further broke it down into sections in its final draft. So we talk about, you know, our name, our purpose, membership criteria. You need at least a 2.0 GPA. You must be in good standing to be in SAC. The responsibilities. It's expected that you attend meetings regularly. If you cannot attend a meeting, we understand life happens, life be lifing. You're allowed to have up to 2 absences. We speak about meetings, whether they're regular or special, in addition to notice meetings. We speak about the term, whether you're chair or vice chair, as well as a SAC member. And then another important section was quorum. So we decided to switch up the quorum requirements so it's easier to make quorum. So with this new document, once it gets voted in and approved by the Board of Regents, we'll require at least 3 out of 5 members from the universities and then 6 out of 12 from the CT state community colleges in order to meet new quorum requirements. And I think with these lower numbers, it's much more doable. We speak about our officers and their duties, elections, and election season is right around the corner, vacancies, removal, voting. Article 5, we talk about executive committee, subcommittees. So for example, subcommittees were SAC, for SAC were bylaws and our surveys committee. All of our meetings are public and they are posted online in addition to the agenda. So talking about that meeting, transparency, amendment process, bylaws may be amended by 2/3 vote of SAC members present. Getting into the nitty-gritty technical stuff, submission of amendments. Yeah, and then we included an addendum at the bottom just to, you know, define things if they're not clear moving forward. So everything is honestly defined. So before I hand things back over to Luis, we have to make a vote to pass our bylaws.
Yep. I see there's 2 hands up. We got
Yes.
Mitri and then we got Donna.
Yeah, whoever wants to go first can go.
Donna, you can go first if you like.
Okay, yeah, Dimitri was first, but I'll go ahead. Just on the amendments, And I'm assuming we're voting here to approve this as our student advisory group, but I know this is also going to Pam at the
Yes.
Board of Regents office to review. So
Yes.
I
And then
know we
she's gonna
wanted
provide
to
feedback.
simplify by putting the bullet points, but she's probably going to tell us we're going to have to go back and add subsection numbers. She may or may not, but typically when I did some research on bylaws, you need to put subsection numbers in there because if you decide to amend something later, you have to be able to identify what it is you're amending. And when you have a bullet point, you have 3 bullet points, it's hard to distinguish, well, which part of that subsection are you deleting or changing? So if you have like subsection, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, you can say, okay, I'm amending subsection 2.3 with the following information. So just giving everybody a heads up that she may or may not have us change that formatting, but we'll submit it to her the way it is. But it looks fine the way it is now. It just, the problem comes later if you want to amend it.
Thank you for that, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and whenever I meet with her, you can feel free to hop on that call. I'm still waiting for a response from Pam to get together and review it together and see what she has to say about it. But
Okay,
it's on
I'll
the
watch for
docket.
that invite then. Thank you.
It's on the docket. Thank you, Dimitri.
I just wanted to ask, could you please drop the document in the chat so I could look at it later?
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course. Any other questions regarding bylaws?
Looks like there's no more questions. So, with that being said, again, thank you all for being here. This has been a somewhat of a longer process than we proceeded to be, but I think we're ready to get on a boat. So, I think Shane just got to make a motion to vote on this, and then someone has to first and second it.
Okay. All right. So I would like to make a motion to pass our SAC bylaws today. Do I have a first and a second to move this motion forward?
First the motion.
Thank you, Nia.
Yeah, first is that. And then I can second it.
Thank you, Luis. All right. So all in favor of passing the SAC bylaws, please, you can either raise your hand or just drop it in the chat and then we can tally it. Okay. I'm looking. Okay. Yeah. Emily. Donna. Malachi. Dimitri. Dakota. Okay. All right. So I was able to tally everything up and the motion to pass the bylaws, it passed. So thank you, everybody. Clap it up, snap it up, whatever you want to do. It has been a long time coming. I'm very proud of not only, my bylaw committee, but, SAC overall. I understand, it's hard balancing school, academics, extracurriculars, but, for you all to show up, be determined, be consistent, it's appreciated more than and I really appreciate you all. So thank you for that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So Luis, back to you. You have the floor.
Thank you, Cheyenne. And thank you to Cheyenne and the bylaw committee who have been putting a lot of work into this. It was a long time coming, like I said, and we're glad that we got this through right on time to go into our next agenda item, which is the student survey. With the student survey, I don't want to touch too much upon it because I believe we have a meeting scheduled at 12 for the survey committee. So if you're free right around that time and you want to collaborate regarding the survey and just finalizing a couple of details, that'd be awesome. Again, I will send a link right after this meeting again. But I wanted to take the time because I see that there's a couple new faces here. If we can just go a room and introduce yourselves, that way I know who you guys are and everyone else knows who you guys are. That'd be awesome if you can just turn your camera on really quick, introduce your name, your major, where you're from, and what you hope to gain moving forward with the student advisory committee. That way we all feel like we know each other and we're able to collaborate better. So I'll just go based upon what I see on my screen currently. So actually, Cheyenne, how about you introduce yourself first and then we can go down the camera.
Yeah, I can go first. Hi, everybody. My name is Cheyenne Erlington. I go to CT State as Nantucket and Enfield. I live in Hartford. I'm currently majoring in business administration. I'm the president of my SGA on campus as well, in addition to being vice chair for SAC. I don't know if I'm supposed to add anything else, but that's a little bit about me.
Perfect. Thanks, Cheyenne.
First.
Dimitri, you're the next one I see, so.
Hello, I'm Dimitri. I'm the SJ president at Quinnebog Valley, and we currently do not have a SAC rep, so that's why I'm here. My major is dental hygiene, and I'll be transferring to a different university this fall. And I think that's all I have to add.
Yeah. Thank you, Dimitri. Glad you're able to make it and you're filling in for your SAC rep, so we appreciate it. We'll go Nia.
Hi, my name is Nia Jenkins. I am the SAC representative for Naugatuck Valley. Yeah, I graduate this May. I got into Temple, so go Birds. And yeah, that's really it. I'm part of like mad clubs on my campus, and we're here making a difference.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations again. Thank you. Next person I see on my screen is Emily.
Hello, I am Emily. I am the representative for Middlesex. My major, I just switched it to psychology, so I'm going to be here a little bit longer, but that's actually really exciting for me. I'm not ready to leave Middlesex. I love Middlesex. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily. We appreciate it. Next person I see on my screen is Victor. Let's see if it's...
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now I'm on a trip, so I'm trying to see if you can all hear me. But my name is Victor, and I'm the alternate for Naugatuck Valley. I'm with Nia, so right now I'm majoring in hospitality, and next year I plan on going to either Johnson and Wales or Southern. They're being tossed around right now, but yeah, they're very good choices at the moment. So yeah, that's all I have for now.
Awesome.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you. I think I see SGA president. I'm not entirely sure.
Hi, sorry, it doesn't say my name. My name is Soraya. Nice to meet you guys. Right now I'm the primary representative for SAC for WestCon. Our previous one they couldn't make it, and I just graduated in December with my undergraduate degree in management, and I'm currently in my MBA program. So it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much for coming.
Nice to meet you. All right, we'll go to Owen.
Hello, everyone. I'm the alternate for WestCon. I'm here with Soraya. I'm a freshman political science major here at WestCon. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Soraya, for representing Western. Awesome. Dakota.
Hello, I'm Dakota Lawson from CT State Northwestern. I am a liberal arts and science major with a focus on video production. And I am the primary SAC representative for CT State Northwestern.
Awesome. Thank you, Dakota. Appreciate you being here. Malachi?
He might be at his SGA meeting because
He
it
might.
starts at 10:30. It started at 10:30.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We were walking through a crowd, but yes, I am on my way to my SGA meeting. I'll have to dip out shortly, but I'm Malachi. Thank you. I'm our SAC rep on Three Rivers campus. I'm a communications major, and it's my last.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Malachi. And then I think I see two more people. We'll go Donna, and then sorry, I can't see the first name. Says Goodman.
Hi, my name's Donna Wagner. I'm representing Charter Oak. I've been doing SAC for the last couple of years. I've got a couple more classes in the summer, so I'll be handing off to a new person in the fall. So look forward to the next couple of meetings with you. I'm a health information management major, and I live down near the Jacksonville, Florida area.
Awesome. Thank you, Donna. We appreciate you being here, and always your input is always very much important. All right, guys. I think we got one more, Cameron, and then we'll kick in.
Hello. My name's Cameron. I am the representative for Tungus Community College. I am an education major because I want to be a history teacher. This is my last semester here at Tungus Community College. It is my first time doing SAC and being a representative. And after a semester, I am heading off to CCSU for my bachelor's.
Awesome. If you see me there, come say hi.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome again. Yeah, so last but not least, my name is Luis Sanchez. I'm a senior at Central Connecticut State University. Considering going for my master's potentially, but we'll see. We'll see where the world takes me. Yeah, my major is management informational systems again with a minor in applications of artificial intelligence. I'm also the SAC representative at Central, and the president of the Informational Systems Club there as well. I'm just, and this year I have the honor to serve as your chair for the Student Advisory Committee. Again, the whole goal this year has been to make sure that we fix the communication loop to the Board of Regents, right? We want to make sure that you guys as campus leaders, and if I sound redundant, it's because that's the goal. So again, the goal is that you as campus leaders, right, you act as the voice of each of your campuses, right? That's why I think it's so important for you guys to be here in meetings like this, because that allows Cheyenne and I to gather your feedback from each of your campuses and better delay the information to the Board of Regents, right? And the Board of Regents is better to make decisions that better support the students based upon the feedback that you guys give us, right? So it all starts at your campus level, right? So if you're talking to students, seeing what their needs are, seeing what students are struggling in, and then delaying that information to Cheyenne and I, right? That way, I mean, we can't be everywhere, right? We can't be in each and every single one of your campuses. So that's why I think each of your roles are so important. And again, that's why we want to minimize, we want the board to know exactly what students are actually going through, not what they think is going through. So that's the whole goal. With that being said, we'll go a little bit into the survey questions, right? On the survey committee meeting, I will send the link after this meeting again for those who can make it. The whole point of the survey is to, again, assess 3 key factors that we decided on in one of the survey meetings. We agree upon academic success and accessibility, campus and digital infrastructure, and financial accessibility and affordability, right? So it's pretty cool that us being part of the Student Advisory Committee allows us to do a more system level survey, right? Potentially not just focusing on each of the campuses individually, but rather doing a more like 360 overview of all the campuses and all the state universities that belong to the CSEU system, right? And that's kind of the point with the survey, right? It's a student-led survey, and we're just hoping to see maybe where there's some overlapping, needs within each campuses, right? There might be, both campuses might need a food pantry or better IT infrastructure or better facilities, right? So that's the whole point with this, right? So I'm just gonna go over the questions and feel free to chime in if you think it's like, oh, that question, nah, it's not good. Or yeah, that question is really good. Feel free to chime in, but I'll go through it very briefly. So the first one that we decided on, academic success and accessibility, right? How satisfied are you with your academic advising and tutoring services at your institution? That's gonna be one of the questions being asked. And we're thinking of doing a scale. So very satisfied, satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. Dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, right? So we're gonna do a scale so that we kind of gauge where everyone lands. Are courses flexible and accessible, including online and hybrid options? Yes, no, right? And then potentially leaving a blank comment to allow students to add more feedback regarding that. How easy is it to transfer credits or transitioning between CSCU institutions? Very easy, neither easy nor hard, very hard, right? We kind of want to see if you're going, we might tweak it as well just to see, actually CSCU, and we might add another question regarding like other universities as well. So, so if you think that's a good idea, come to the meeting and we can talk about it. What additional academic resources would you like to see in campus, right? We might leave this open-ended. That way people can put a little bit of feedback. We're trying to keep it very brief as well. That way, you don't feel disincentivized to not do it. And I think we have some incentives as well. So we have that in our ability as well. So for campus digital and infrastructure, we have how would you rate the quality and maintenance of your campus facilities? Very good, good, neither good nor bad. Bad, very bad. So again, a scale. The next question will be how reliable is campus Wi-Fi and digital learning platforms, right? Especially in today's kind of market. I believe it's very important to have reliable Wi-Fi and just digital tools to, stay up to very competitive within the job market. So very reliable, somewhat reliable, not reliable. Do you have equal access to technology and resources across your CSEU institutions, right? So yes or no. So is the access to technology equal to everyone else within your institution? If it's not, it should be. And we're trying to look into that. And then to financial accessibility and affordability, how clear and accessible is the financial aid and scholarship information at your university? Very clear, accessible, clear, not accessible, accessible but not clear, neither clear nor accessible, right? So we're trying to gauge kind of like how the services that the universities are providing, either are they good or not. How affordable do you perceive the education within the CSCU system, right? We kind of want to get an idea. Very affordable, somewhat affordable, not affordable. And then what challenges have you faced when navigating tuition and financial aid processes, right? Again, an open-ended question. And that's really the questions that we have so far. Again, we want to keep it brief, but at the same time, we want to keep it somewhat touching those three key factors that I touch upon: academic success and accessibility, campus and digital infrastructure, and financial accessibility and affordability, right? I think if we add a couple more questions, maybe like 2 or 3, it shouldn't be as long. But again, keeping in mind that we want to keep it short so more students do it. And if more students do it, we have a larger sample of kind of what the students in each institution want and need. And that way we can use the findings from this survey, create recommendations, and then those recommendations will be sent off to the board regions. So either they see that and they're like, okay, the students do their job, they created data, they're backing their decisions behind data, and now we feel confident using their recommendations. So I think that's the whole point, right? Making sure that the Board of Regents feels confident with what we're telling them, right? It's not based upon what we feel. It's based upon like what the numbers and the data are saying. So, yep, that's what I have for the survey. So, any questions? Any ideas?
Two things, Luis. I'm a little bit of a visual person. Do you mind just like sharing the questions so we could like see it in real time? And then I know we're working with IR, so then are you gonna are we planning to push the survey like a couple rounds? Like, all right, we're gonna promote it at the beginning of the month, send a reminder at the middle, send another reminder at the end, because school's about to end in May. So how many times do you think it's gonna get like sent out as a reminder to students? And is there a deadline, like you have to respond by X date?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? So I'm in contact with institutional like the review office, system office. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. I scheduled a meeting with them.
Yeah.
To sure that we go overview kind of like what's the right procedure, because each institutional research office, so there's 5 different ones, right? There's one at Central, there's one at Eastern, there's one at Southern, there's one at Western, and there's one at CT State. And each institutional review board is different from each other, right? Like there's like different procedures that they move about it, right? So we're gonna have to, and I'll send you guys the links as well for each one, so you guys can kind of go over what each one requires. But again, we're probably gonna have to make sure that we go through their institutional review board, right? Because we don't want to overstep over any institution. Although, yeah, we are working within the system. I do feel that we kind of have to go through that step of like making sure that we go through the institutional review board. So that's why I think it's important collaborating with you guys, right? For example, at Central, I can go to Central and talk to the institutional review board for Central and make sure that our survey is up to par, right? But for example, I'm gonna need some help at Eastern. I'm gonna need some help at Southern, Western, and CT State as well. Just having a person in the campus, I think it's important, right? So they can go meet with the person as well and make sure that we're following the right steps.
Yes.
So I will send you guys all of this, actually. Thank you, Cheyenne, for pointing it out.
Of course.
And then I think someone else had a question. Was you?
Donna has her hand up, and then Malachi put it in the chat.
Perfect.
Donna first.
Hi, Louise.
Hi, Donna.
I know you're trying to keep the survey short, and I totally agree with that, because if it's too long, people won't answer it. But I know there was an issue a couple of years back about people having access to their textbooks. That they weren't able to get them in advance, or they couldn't afford them, and then they're trying to go to the library, and there's like one copy that gets checked out, and it's not accessible. So we have.
Guys, we're having a fire drill.
Oh, having a fire drill. Hey, be careful, Malachi, don't trip.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah. So with the textbooks, I can tell you at Charter Oak that we tried something new. I think it was back into last semester, where we started adding on like a certain dollar amount, per credit hour, to have access to electronic textbooks within the thing. And that's been going pretty well for us. And also is a lot more affordable than buying the textbook. So I don't know if you want to ask some questions about, textbook accessibility and whether students would be interested in having more available through an electronic format at a reduced cost.
Yeah.
Because then as a system, we can negotiate that with publishers, right? So we've been kind of experimenting with some of that. And again, that may or may not be something, but I know that was kind of a thing that applied to all campuses, is that people were trying to use that textbook that was not available at the library. And then the other thing was about job preparation resources. And again, every campus may be a little different with that too, but I know that was something that even came up with ours, even being in a virtual environment, that they, as the administration, have been working on to provide resources for, resume development, interviewing skills, that type of thing. And that, of course, would be really relevant, especially to the community colleges, because they may not necessarily want to be going to an upper division area, and that may be something that's lacking. So maybe asking about job preparation resources. And then the other thing that Tam said that they were working on was mental health resources, and utilizing Timely. And again, we've got some experience with using that even from a virtual environment, because again, it's available 24/7. So that may be something to say, students, if we get this for you, will you use it? Is it something that's valuable to you? So if Tam's already gathering some information about doing it and finding about the cost, wouldn't it be nice to know if the students would use it if it is obtained? So those were just kind of a couple suggestions: textbooks, job prep, and
Mental health.
Mental health. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. So we'll formulate some questions surrounding that. I think maybe 1 or 2 questions for each topic will suffice, and I think we'll keep it relatively short as well. So thank you, Donna.
Thank
Again,
you, Donna.
this is what it's all about, right? Feedback.
Yeah.
Emily?
Emily has her hand up.
Hello. I want to reiterate the textbook thing, because here at Middlesex, we've been having issues with textbooks too, whether it's students getting the wrong textbooks from the bookstore or not being able to afford them. What were my other 2 questions? One of them was like, as we as student leaders, are we going to get this information so we can work on it individually, or is it just going to the higher ups?
Regarding once we receive the findings from the survey?
Yes.
I mean, if you want it, like, I can provide you with information. We still haven't got to that point yet, so I haven't really thought about it. But that's a good question, actually. I think I don't see why an issue would be. Maybe potentially publishing some findings. I don't think we want to be as clear as possible and transparent about it as well. So I don't see that being an issue. You getting the findings as well. So I think the whole point is to kind of find some commonalities among all the other campuses, right? So to better like focus. Okay, if all the campuses are struggling with like textbooks, or if all the campuses are struggling with, job preparation, right? How about we provide some resources for all those campuses, and we start as a system, we focus on those things, right? Thinking more from the lens of a system rather than like an individual institution, right? Nia, you had your hand up, I think.
No? Okay. Malachi, I'm going to read what he left in the chat. He said he loves the questions. He said, how do we plan to take action based on responses? Will we consider their answers on a case-to-case basis, or would it be more beneficial to include more quantitative questions on a rating scale, like 1 to 10, yes or no, rather than quantitatively?
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, we're very open to changing the kind of like the format of the answer is. I will forward you guys this file. I'm just working on it with the links as well of the institutional review boards. Please take some time, go through it. To answer his first part of the question, I think this is why it's so important for you guys to be involved in this, right? Because it's gonna be vital for you guys to be in your campuses, right, and talking to your SGAs, right? And I think we have a couple SGA presidents, which is great. But right, talking to your SGA, and then the SGA should be kind of like will play a big role in this of delaying the information to the students, right? We'll have incentives, like I said. I think we requested like $2,000 from the board regions for incentives, so we can potentially divide that money into like gift cards and then delay it for all the state, like the institutions across the system, right? So there will be incentives, right? We'll pick up, for example, random number, not name from the people that have done the survey and push it out. Again, we're gonna have to push it to social media. I think the biggest challenge, I'm gonna be honest, is gonna be like getting it to the student, right? Like that's always a challenge, right? It's always the challenge of like getting the student to fill the survey, right? Like, okay, why am I gonna take 5 minutes when I have like 3 assignments to do this survey, right? but it's like harping on the importance of why everyone might benefit. It's like thinking a little bit long term as well, like everyone might benefit from this, not just now, but the future students that come through the system, right? Dimitri?
Yes, my question is, um, so I mean, of course, we cannot predict how many students will actually respond to this survey, but if any of the questions deal with large scale issues that have to be addressed by the college system, I guess, is there a certain, I guess, quota of students saying that yes, this is an issue that needs to be addressed? Like for example, like Donna was mentioning with the textbook problem, if the college's system was to do something addressing that, how many students would it need from each campus or each college to say that yes, this is a problem that has to be dealt with?
Well, I think it'll be recommendations, right? Like once we get the findings from the survey, it'll come down to being recommendations, right? So they don't have to take action upon it, right? But they do. It's like almost saying like, hey, like this is what we think. We did our due diligence of like finding the data that we needed to back the, or what we believe is the student needs. Um, then it's up to the board to decide that, right? Like again, it's and Ainsley, you can probably touch a little bit upon this as well if you want to go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can, but I saw Malachi's hand up, so I don't wanna jump in line here.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
appreciate it. I'll
go ahead, Malachi.
Oh, yeah, no, I had a very similar question to Dimitri, and I guess it was just a rephrasing of my question in the chat. Thanks for reading that, Cheyenne. It's essentially just how are we going to, because we were thinking about how to prioritize the most important needs of the students that will be brought to attention, and how are we going to gauge those from in list of like priority and importance, and yeah, essentially, that's my question.
Yeah, so I think you both kind of were touching up on the same kind of question, right? Like how are we gonna see like, okay, if this is an issue here and here, like how are we deciding? Again, once we find the findings, we'll bring it up to the SAC committee. I think that might be the best procedure, like bringing it back here and then deciding whether or not like as a collective we think like the the focus areas that we decided to be like, okay, this all the schools are having issues with this. We'll bring it back here for you guys to review it first before it goes to the board. We all have to be in agreement, like, okay, yeah, this is something we want to focus upon and make the recommendation to the board to like focus on. And then the end of the information will delay to the board, right? I think that might be the most transparent procedure of doing this, of just like, okay, we got the findings, we see the patterns, let's bring it back to the SAC, let's talk about it, let's make sure that we're all on the same page, and then we're gonna delay the information to the board. I hope that answers your question. Awesome.
Luis, do you want me to add as well?
Yeah, please, Ainsley.
Yeah, so I think so to Dimitri's point, I mean, any survey, any research that you see that's out there, if there's really low participation, that definitely leads to, you know, your understanding of what the issues truly are. But as to directly answer your question, is the board saying, well, if we don't hear from more than 10% of the students, we're not going to take this into consideration? Absolutely not. The information that you as a body bring forward is valuable. And I like what you were talking about, prioritization of what the issues are and how you present that forward to the board. But also, I do want to point out that the cool thing about you serving as a collective is it gives information where there might be an issue on one campus, and so that campus administration can be made aware of that, but it also tips off throughout the system, like, well, if this is an issue at one of our campuses, this might not be an issue right now, but it could domino effect into the other one. So that's why these collective responses are really important. And to Louise's point, what the survey can be is these are recommendations that actual students in our system that have a valuable voice can bring forward. And that's really, really powerful. So result numbers, that yes, that's one point of it, but it's this voice of students who are actively engaged that are moving it forward to the board that is really, really important.
And thank you, Ainsley. I think you touched upon a point that I want to harp information, right? Like, this is a subcommittee of the Board of Regents, right? Like, we are the voice of the students to the board, right? That's how this committee should function, and that's kind of what we're trying to really back in. And I guess like my big effort this year, if I can leave with something that I accomplished here in this SAC committee, is to like understand like our role within the board, right? Just how there's academic, just how there's a financial committee, right? There's a student advisory committee, and this is a voice of, okay, you guys give us the feedback, and this information goes directly to the board, right? And if I'm being honest, this is a place where most of the change can happen, right? If you want system level change, this is where it happens, and that's kind of the point with the survey, to kind of get the feedback again, to make sure that I'm not just going with what I want, right? Like, I could be like, oh, we should just invest in IT infrastructure because I'm an IT guy, right? And IT is important and everyone needs IT. But then the classrooms are falling apart, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense. And that's the whole point of this, to kind of get some unbiased data. That way we can make better decisions upon that data. So, yeah. So I'm going to send you guys this file. Thank you so much for all the questions. I know Nia has you have your hand on, Nia.
I do. My question, I mean, I know you're saying, I'm just looking in a sense of kind of backing off, like taking off of from Cheyenne earlier with like the timeline, because as she like said, like graduation is in May for apparently a lot of us, and so it's like, and even yourself, if I believe. So
Yeah.
it's like, what it like, how soon? I know you're saying you need help from, in the sense of getting in touch with the, what is it called? What is it called?
Institute boards.
Okay, that thing. But yeah, so like how long what is the timeline for it to expect, like for a response for you to meet up with, because that's centrals, or are you talking about like the whole, all of them in a sense of that nature? Like, because what is your timeline? What is it expected? What are you
So,
trying to hit?
That's why I'll go a little bit over that on the survey committee again, defining the timeline again. I do have a timeline on my head, but I don't want to jump the gun and be like, okay, this is the day we want to finish this. If anything, like, okay, let's say everything goes south, we're not able to get through this. Thank you, Malachi. Let's say everything goes south, we're not able to go through this. Next person that comes in can take over this project. We did a lot of the blunt work already, right? Like, we did a lot of the doing the research. What are the steps? What's the procedures? Here are the questions that we want to ask, right? And this survey will still go out like potentially next semester, right? Like, worst case scenario, right? Best case scenario, we get through all of this, we're able to push her out right before graduation and right before finals. I think that's the ideal time, right? Like, right before finals, before people start like cranking up studying. I think that's a safe timeline, right? But again, I'm gonna need, like, I can only do so much as a singular individual, right? Like, I'm gonna need everyone's support on this. And if you think it's a good idea or if you think it's a bad idea, please let me know, so that way we can move accordingly, right? Like, this is the whole point of having this as a collective, right? And with everyone's help and feedback, I think we'll be able to push this, because I mean, there's 12 community colleges and like 4 state universities, right? So if we all get on board on this, I think we'll be able to accomplish this, right? And honestly, you can use this in your resume, right? Like, you can put this in your resume and be like, did a system-wide survey across all the state universities and community colleges in the state, right? It looks great, and yeah, that's really it. So I will share this this file with everyone. feel free to change, like add comments to it and be like, hey, I think that's a terrible idea, or I think that's a good idea, right? Like, I want you to be honest here. And yeah, that's really what I have so far in regards with the survey. Again, I'm meeting with Nancy. Also, I think we might have the ability just to do it from like the system down, right? Because I know the system does do surveys across all the institutions and all the state and community colleges as well, or the one community college now. But there might be an opportunity where we can just from the system push out the survey, right? Um, so, but I don't want to, like I said, I want to make sure that we go through the right hurdles, the right hoops, right? I know it's very tedious work, right? Because you gotta um you gotta make sure that like like the president of like each institution is on board with this, right? Like we don't want to overstep their kind of like leadership in those institutions. So again, that's what I have. I will share this with everyone. Uh, as soon as I'm done with the meeting, I'll share this. And yeah, I think we can. I'm not sure if we have enough time, but we can kind of just the discussion. I mean, this section is for you guys. So if you guys have any other questions or comments that you guys want to make, please feel free. If not, I believe we had the open discussion of like what resources we like to see. So I think that kind of tied in back to the survey. I think we said, let me go back to the file. I think we said like textbook accessibility, right? Like formulating questions regarding that. Job preparation access, right? So like, is there like resources available in your campus to like find meaningful employment? I think that's very important and maybe something that we might be lacking. And then mental health, right? Is there enough mental health resources in your campus for you to feel good about whatever issue you're going through? Any other topics or suggestions and things you think might be lacking in your campus? Let me know, that way I can add it to the list and we can touch upon it potentially in other meetings.
Food for thought or something to consider, with the recent happenings with budget cuts, federally, and how that trickles down with, state by state. So Connecticut Food Share regarding that issue with the food pantries, on how the administration cut funding, and now they're going to ask, the governor of Connecticut to supplement what has been cut federally through the state of Connecticut with funding. And we don't know what that trickle down effect will look like with our pantries just as yet, but that might be something to either think about or write it down. But that's just me.
Perfect.
Dakota said he had to leave.
Perfect. I mean, we're finishing up, guys. So
yeah, we're almost done.
We're almost done. We're almost there. You guys can enjoy your Friday afternoon. Should be pretty nice. I'm looking forward to it as well. So, food pantries, looking into
supplementing the budget cut.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, food pantries are looking to supplement the budget cuts coming from the federal government. All right. Any other questions or suggestions, guys? Now is the time. Perfect. All right, guys. That's what we have for today's agenda. We got our main action items through today. So big round of applause to Cheyenne and her team. Thank you so much for doing that, Cheyenne. It's been a long time coming, having the surveys, the bylaws redone and updated. I think we had like the old community college name. Yeah, I think it was like early
CT technical. I'm like, who's those? I don't know who they are. Like,
right? That's not even us. So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you again. just for a food for thought for you guys to remember. Come with feedback from your campuses, right? Like talk to students, be like, yo, like what's going on with you and like what do you need help with, right? Like just little questions like that will get feedback from students, and that feedback you can kind of start building a perspective about like, oh, maybe we need help in this, right? So just for future reference and for a future meeting, I'm not entirely sure when our next meeting is gonna be, but we'll make sure to be sending you guys the information and the agenda for that meeting. After this, I will also attach this file with the survey questions and kind of what we want to format and potential topic for those questions as well. And again, thank you to Kayla and Ainsley for being here today.
Thank you so
Fill
much.
in Tam's shoes, and I hope it went somewhat smoothly, other than me being late and worrying you guys. But I appreciate it. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys. Another successful meeting. We'll be in touch hopefully soon. We're trying to make these meetings rather than like being a monthly meeting, potentially a bi-weekly meeting. I think that's the best way of doing it, because you're only able to accomplish so much in like 1 monthly meeting, 1 hour monthly meeting, right? Like not much can get done. So potentially the potential meeting might be April 11th. So next 2 Fridays from now. So keep your eye out for that. And again, I'm gonna see what's kind of the attendance for the survey committee. I might have to reschedule moving the week. Actually, I might reschedule it to next Friday, just because like I don't want to have like the board, the SAC meeting right after like I feel like it's a back-to-back meeting too long. We're not able to get like good feedback, so we're gonna push it back to April 4th. I think that's a good date. And with that being said, thank you again. We hit quorum, and see you guys all in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everybody. Keep your eyes out for your email. We'll be sending you some stuff over.
Thank you guys.